When I was a teenager, I thought abortion was wrong, but I didn't know why. I met an older married man, and I soon gave in to the pressure for sex. His wife was ill, and by the time I found out that I was pregnant, she had just died. And it was clear that I had gotten pregnant before she died. I was so ashamed. The father's response was, "You need to get an abortion." Planned Parenthood staff told me that it was just a blob of tissue inside me. She never examined me, she never touched me. But then she told me I had a tubal pregnancy and I would die if I didn't get an abortion quickly. When I was on the table, the doctor started the procedure and I cried and I told him it hurt and to stop, that I didn't want to do this. And he spoke the only words he ever spoke to me: "You should have thought of that before." Then it seemed he even got rougher. Afterwards, all I felt was relief. It was over, like an eraser. Now no one would know what a terrible person I was. I felt like used goods, unlovable and unforgivable. I married the father because who else would want me? But soon came the broken relationships, the depression, and the nightmares. The nightmares of having to pick up pieces of something blown apart and put them back together. And the fear and the suicidal thoughts. I isolated myself. I couldn't go to the dentist. I couldn't vacuum the carpet. The sounds of those machines sounded too much like the suction machine of the abortionist, and it took me right back there. So what was supposed to be an eraser hadn't erased anything at all, and it was destroying me from the inside. I learned that it wasn't a blob of tissue inside me, that it was a baby with fingers and toes and ears and a beating heart and a working brain. I believed that God could never forgive me, but I was so desperate that I went to church. I found hope that maybe God could forgive me, that he wasn't sitting up on his throne in heaven with a lightning bolt aimed at me. And I began to grieve my child. I learned of a Bible study called Forgiven and Set Free, and that it truly did. It led me to forgiveness and freedom. Once I accepted that God could forgive me, I could begin to move past my shame. I began to see how he was able to turn that darkness into light. Without God's mercy and grace, I would not be alive today. What I once hid in shame, I will expose to the light, and that is why I am silent no more.